Hello and welcome to CVTV News. I'm David Kerr.
And I'm Deedra Haven. As you can tell today, we're going a little low tech to bring back the vintage feel to newscasting.
Just think about Walter Cronkite, those of you who know who Walter Cronkite was. Deidre.
So I have a story today. I really like it a lot considering, hey, I was a teacher. Think back, middle school. Sorry. Deep breath, David, deep breath.
Yes, okay.
Okay, here we go. Middle school can be tough. It's a challenging transition from tween to young teenager. So much is happening and so fast some days. Just getting through the school day can be really tough. However, one Stafford Middle School assistant principal has found a creative way to connect with students before they even enter the building. He sings karaoke and interacts with them before they even go in the building. It's as they're getting off the bus or if they're, dropped off by their parents. It's not that Andrew Aversa loves doing karaoke in his private life, although he did say that when a good song comes on, he will hop in. But instead, he's looking for a way to interact and connect and to motivate his students. Maybe they're just having a bad morning, whatever the emotional state a middle schooler goes through before they even get to our school can be very difficult, said Aversa. I just want to give them the chance to feel a warm welcome. With a portable karaoke player.
I've got to see this.
I did see it. And a microphone set up on the sidewalk. Aversa sings while doing high fives and encouraging them to get in the act. Initially, the kids' reaction, like whenever an adult sings to them, like when they find an adult's doing something silly.
We're not allowed to do silly things.
No, it's a little embarrassing, Aversa said. So you see that their heads go down. But after a moment or two, you'll see that the smile comes on their face because they realize, hey, that's not my parent doing that. Aversa said some songs like Welcome Back, Kotter, that theme song from way back, you remember that? You're welcome back, Kotter. Yeah.
He said, your ticket out?
Absolutely. The parents can connect with that and they smile. And then some students said, Aversa, it's just a quick wave and keep moving. And I know that that's the best thing I can get from them. And then some start singing, and eventually they'll break down smiling and laughing, and then they join in. Thank you, Mr. Aversa.
I think we're going to have to cover that live one morning.
I think that would be a great live coverage.
Well, we at CVTV like to take some time out from the regular flow of local news and profile people who make a difference. Not just locally, but nationally and internationally as well. One of those is Dr. Hadiyah-NicoleGreen. She is one of fewer than 100 black female physicists in the country, and the recent winner of a $1.1 million grant to further develop a technology she's pioneered that uses laser activated nanoparticles to treat cancer. Sort of like Star Wars meets cancer, and cancer loses.
Yes.
Green, who lost her parents young and was raised by her aunt and uncle, While she was at school, her aunt died from cancer, and 3 months later, her uncle was diagnosed with cancer. She's got a stake in this. Green went on to earn a degree in physics from Alabama A&M University, and while she was there, also in addition to studying physics, managed to be crowned homecoming queen while she was at it, before going on to a full scholarship at the University of Alabama in Birmingham to earn a master's and a PhD in physics. There, Green would become the first to work out how to deliver nanoparticles into cancer cells exclusively so that the laser could then be used to remove them, and then successfully carry out the treatment. Then she successfully carried out the treatment on living animals. As she takes on her growing responsibilities, because she's getting a lot of attention from the scientific community and the medical community, Green still takes time to speak at schools, boys and girls camps, and other youth events. Young black girls don't see those role models, the scientists, as often as they see Beyonce and Nicki Minaj, says Green. It's important to know that our brains are capable of far more. That's the person we admire here at CVTV, and we want to say thank you, Dr. Green.
Thank you, Dr. Green, yes. And that kind of goes on the coattails of a show that we did a few weeks ago that talked about higher paying jobs. So I think young girls need to see that just women in general are able to do these STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, math kind of careers that can also increase your pay.
Well, you know, there's a little footnote to that, a little historical footnote. Back in the 1920s and 30s, we graduated the largest number of women with PhDs in mathematics that we would graduate at any time we've ever graduated. We've never reached that number again.
What year was that?
The 1920s and 30s.
Okay.
So we understood this and learned this a long time ago, then we forgot it, and now we seem to be remembering it again.
I have a story. I'll share this.
Good for you.
Yeah, imagine that, being on the news. I've got a story. This one's not quite as encouraging. This isn't what you would call a happy story, but it shows just how pervasive and frightening the current drug crisis is in our area. And, you know, it's even difficult for me to get out because it's one of those stories that I don't like. A woman was arrested on drug charges on Wednesday after overdosing on the side of the road. At that time, she was with her 4-year-old child, as well as the child's father. On April 24th at approximately 6:14 p.m., Stafford County Sheriff's Department and Sergeant Zotos came upon a disabled vehicle. It was on the side of the road while he was on patrol in the area of White Oak Road and Northside Drive. He observed 2 male subjects who appeared to be changing a flat tire, and there was also a female subject there near the passenger side door with the 4-year-old child. While speaking with the driver of the vehicle, who identified as Preston Rance 33 of Bumpus, Virginia, Sergeant Zotos observed the child repeatedly trying to run in the road. When he approached the female subject to ask her to keep an eye on the child, she suddenly leaned over with her eyes closed, and he prevented her from falling and helped lower her to a seated position on the ground. She began mumbling and became unresponsive. Sergeant Zotos thought quickly. He immediately requested that the male passenger take the child away from the scene, and then he administered Narcan to the woman, and she recovered. She was identified as Sky Trend, 30 of Fredericksburg. She was taken into custody and transported to a local hospital. The search of the vehicle yielded not so nice things. There was a syringe, a clear baggie of white powdery substance, substance residue. Trend was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and child neglect. She was released on an unsecured bond. In the meantime, Deputy Belinsky was speaking with Rance when he detected a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage.
And he was the driver, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
It was emanating from his person. In addition, his eyes were bloodshot, his speech was slurred, and subsequently he was unsteady on his feet. Field sobriety tests were subsequently conducted, and the search warrant for blood was executed. Rance was taken into custody and incarcerated at the Rappahannock County Regional Jail on an unsecured bond until sober. He's charged with driving under the influence, driving suspended, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. On that note, we'll be right back.